So, we all know that the food in New York is unrivaled. And I'm not talking about the hot dog that's made with like mystery meat and pretzels and Joe's Pizza. I am talking about the food paradise that is Queens, New York. Queens is the most linguistically diverse place on earth. In Queens, you will hear 130 languages and see people represent 120 countries. Where else will you find that in the world? I'm a New Yorker born and raised, and I think the best neighborhood in this city is Jackson Heights. And it is no surprise that the Jackson Heights 7 stop is right across the street from Nepali Bhanchha Ghar, my favorite restaurant. I'm going to give you a little backstory on how this neighborhood came to be, and along the way, I'm going to tell you about the hilarious series of events that started with me and some of my friends grabbing a meal in Jackson Heights and ended with me showing up completely alone to the basement of that restaurant. Stay with me. To the most random and amazing party of my life. Getting drunk and dancing my ass off with a bunch of Nepali people until midnight. It's quite a story, and you'll want to stay for the end. I'm India, and welcome to the first ever episode of India Eats the World. I am a New Yorker, born and raised. My mother is an immigrant from India. My father is Dutch and Italian. I come from a long line of immigrants, some of who came and settled to this very city 100 years ago. Where I'm recording this video right now, in Brooklyn, New York. BK all day, baby. I want to hear the stories behind the food. And really, I want to understand how others connect with their culture so I can better understand how to connect with mine. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this place, it's not fancy, okay? It doesn't look like much from the outside, but when you step inside, you feel the warmth of the Nepali people.
Hi, welcome to Nepali Bhanchha Ghar.
Nepali Bhanchha Ghar translates to Nepali kitchen. The restaurant's had a New York Times article written about it, it's been in the news, and it's won numerous awards. And we're not talking about the James Beard Award, okay, you guys? I'm talking about the Momo Crawl, okay?
Happy Momo Crawl!
Momo! 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 Momo!
This thing, it's no small feat, okay? People will travel all the way to Queens, go all around to find the best momo, and you know what? Nepali Bhanchha Ghar, #1 every year. So, pretty cool. So you might be wondering, what the hell is a momo and why does it sound so goddamn adorable? To put it plainly, the momo is kind of like the Nepali dumpling, okay? And I'm fully obsessed with them.
What kind of momo is this? This is chicken shimo. Chicken shimo momo. Yeah.
And interestingly, the momo actually originates in Tibet and arrived in Nepal by way of the ancient trade routes in the Himalayas, but it's only really been popular in Nepal since the 1960s when Tibetan refugees settled there. We are having a true moment with the momos. So before we get into the food, I want to tell you a little bit about where it comes from. So Nepal is a country with a population of 29 million people. That's 3 times the size of New York City. It's sandwiched between India and Tibet, and it is known to be home of 8 of the world's tallest mountains, including Mount Everest. Nepal is the birthplace of Lord Buddha, but the country's population is largely Hindu. And since 2006, it's become a secular state. Nepal's unique geography, altitude, and history is mirrored in the food. Unlike most of Asia, Nepal was never colonized, but it did act as a buffer state between British India and Imperial China. So before I take you down a very weird rabbit hole of how I ended up in that basement of that restaurant, remember that video you just saw? Yeah. Patience is a virtue, okay? And I promise this story will pay off. So my friend Sakji is originally from Nepal but raised in Massachusetts and wanted to take us to her favorite Nepali restaurant.
So I am Momo Queen. So I think we should do one order of chol momo, which is like soupy. So it's like momos just drowning in delicious soup. And then fried momos, which are fried delicious momos. love it.
I'm excited. Let's do it.
It was me and two more of my friends, and we had this incredible meal. We just ordered everything on the menu, basically. So halfway through the meal, the waitress taps us on the back and tells us to look up. And they're playing this video. That woman who's stealing the goddamn show and looks like Queen of New York, that's Bimla. The owner of this very restaurant. She runs front of house, the kitchen, and even sings and dances at, you guessed it, the basement of her restaurant every Friday night. I knew at that very moment I had to interview her for this show and find out who this woman is and honestly how I can be more like her.
My name is Bimla Hamal Shrestha. My restaurant name Nepali Bhanchha Ghar. US आको 2008 अप्रिल 4 तारिख.
Raised in a town called Changsha, west of Kathmandu, she left her family and children behind to start a new life in the United States with the hopes that at some point they would come and join her. You might think that Bimla's been around in New York for a really long time, but she's only been here since 2008. So the early 2000s was a really pivotal time for Nepali people, and it led to a wave of immigration to the United States. The reason? The Nepali Civil War. So Nepal was ruled by a monarchy up until 1996, when it all came to a screeching halt.
For the past week, tens of thousands of protesters have filled the streets of Nepal's capital, Kathmandu. Nepalese Maoist rebels have united with 7 major parliamentary opposition parties to call for the ouster of King Gyanendra and the restoration of democracy. Gyanendra has placed severe restrictions on civil liberties since consolidating power in February of 2005.
So Nepal's Communist Party, the Maoists, waged a violent war against the monarchy, the feudal system, and marginalized communities. It was inspired by Mao Zedong and Maoist revolutionary principles. The rebels waged a brutal people's war.
On Wednesday, phone service was cut off throughout the country. Vast repression and abuse have been reported, and thousands of Nepalese have fled in fear of further instability.
The conflict resulted in approximately 17,000 deaths and basically led to social and economic havoc and chaos in the country. It lasted a decade. So in 2006, everything came to an end and there came to be a peace accord. Basically, they said no more monarchy, and the rebels had to join the army that they used to fight against. And Nepal, well, they got themselves a new constitution and a fresh new start. So if you find the history interesting, leave a comment below and tell me if you'd like me to talk a little bit more about it, talk a little bit less about it. I'm just figuring it all out. I'm a brand new YouTube creator. It will make this series better by the fact that you are telling me your feedback. So I'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to also like and subscribe while you're at it. What was that experience like arriving in New York?
म त पहिला कहिले पनि आएको थिइनँ हैन अब कस्तो होला अमेरिका सबैले अमेरिका भन्छ नि त सबैले अमेरिका भन्छ कस्तो होला भने एकदम के शक भयो नि अनि म यहाँ आएपछि यहाँ आउँदाखेरि म अप्रिलमा आउँदा त यहाँ त रुखको पात छैन है यस्तो उजाड अनि मलाई एयरपोर्टबाट मेरो एकजना दाइले एकजना मेरो गाउँको दाइ हुनुहुन्थ्यो उहाँले पिकअप गरेर लानु भयो लगाइलेमा म लगाइलेमा गएर बस्दाखेरि त मलाई धेरै एकदम बोर लाग्यो पहिला त धेरै बोर लाग्यो म त्यो एकछिन भन्छु.
And you can imagine the culture shock coming from this to this. When you arrived here, did you know you wanted to live in Jackson Heights? Was this the place that you felt, I need to start the restaurant here?
त्यस्तो यो जक्सन हाइट भनेको त फेरि सबै नेपाली यहीँ आउँछ नि त नेपाली धेरै यहीँ अनि विभिन्न हामीले नेपाली कल्चर अब हाम्रो फेस्टिभलहरू सबै हामीले यहीँ मनाउँछौँ
हजुर
अनि सबैजना यहीँ भेट हुन्छ
हजुर
अनि त्यही भएर अब यहाँ एउटा रेस्टुरेन्ट खोल्यो भने नेपालीको लागि राम्रो हुन्छ भन्ने विचार आएको हो
हजुर So, you know, Jackson Heights is such a Nepali dance community. And so the thought was having a restaurant here, you know, would inspire, you know, there are holidays celebrated here. Just having that community space where people can come together, eat. That was the reason it felt like this is the place that the restaurant should open.
Jackson Heights is one of my favorite places in America and maybe the world. On one street, you could feel like you're in New Delhi. On the next, Medellin or Guadalajara. It's just bursting with culture and food and people from all over the world, and it just feels like this is the melting pot of America.
अनि रेस्टुरेन्ट सुरु गरेको 2015 सेप्टेम्बर 15
And the restaurant opened with a very plain and simple, classic Nepali, no frills kind of menu. Nepali food is really familiar to me. It reminds me a lot of Indian food, the place that my mother is from. And something about the thalis and the curries and the achars and the spices, it's not far off, but they've made it distinctly their own. And the momos, god damn, the momos are good.
Feel free to join.
There's one dish that stands out to me. It's something that I'm really unfamiliar with. That's called sail roti. What is the most quintessential Nepali dish on the menu if you had to pick one?
सेलरोटी
Ooh, that's hot. It's a little hard to explain, but stay with me. It tastes a little bit like a breadstick had sex with a donut, and then you sort of dip it into some sort of salsa, and I probably sound so white by saying that, but my mouth sort of had this, did backflips and, exploded and, also had a bit of an orgasm. Do you have a memory of first eating sail roti in your life?
फेस्टिभल भयो कि त सुरुमा सेलरोटी आउँछ कि
हो हाम्रो पनि
जानेबाटै सुरुमै सेलरोटी
Sail roti starts a festival. So when sail roti is being prepared, you know that it's festival time, whether it's Diwali, Dasai, whatever festival it is, it starts with sail roti.
How do you make sail roti? And do you make it in the back every day?
एभ्री डे सेलरोटी पहिला चामल चाहिन्छ चामलको पिठो
Rice flour,
चिनी
sugar,
अनि बटर
butter,
अनि पानी
water,
अनि त्यहाँ तेलमा पोल्नु
and then oil. And then you make them into donut shapes. I've seen my mom do it. So
Really?
kind of
Have some. It's so good. The sail roti is
sail roti.
incredible. So the sail roti is known to be eaten at Nepali festivals and celebrations, and it really feels like a celebration in your mouth. But at Nepali Bhanchha Ghar, you get that feeling that you're at a festival, that you're around the people from your home, that you're celebrating something. So after the interview wrapped, she told me very casually that every Friday night she throws a party in the basement. There's live music, she dances. I was like, can I come? And I was waiting for her to invite me. She didn't. So I just sort of invited myself. And it went a little like this. So it's 9 o'clock, the party has just started. It's me, 5 other Nepali people, and a blown out speaker. They're all so unbelievably confused. They're like, who the hell is this white chick? But they're very nice. And they offer me a Heineken, and they start handing me food on a fork from their plate, and I'm just like, I'm going with it. So immediately the party wasn't a party. But very quickly, it turned into one. And I had so much fun dancing with whoever the hell this guy was. And at one point, I was sort of just mimicking him. It wasn't really working out for me. And Bimla, she was having the best time of her life. She was busting a move on the dance floor, laughing her ass off, and just truly having the time of her life. You could not tell that this woman had been up since like 6 in the morning to open the restaurant and start cooking and working. Bimla, she doesn't bring less than 100%. So I start chatting with these two guys across from me, Vishal and Pradip, and it turns out that they're from the same village as Bimla, as well as a lot of the other people in this basement. So Vishal has kind of an amazing story. He won the citizenship lottery like 10 years ago, came to the US for the first time, didn't speak much English, and he wanted to pursue his dreams of being a hairstylist. And he offered to cut my hair the following week, and he did, and I love him to death.
Miss India. Look at the curls on that.
I'm kind of like family, so I'm not expect that much service, but food is fresh and authentic, like feel like the hometown in Nepal and Kathmandu, somewhere like that.
So this guy, Pradip, when he's not living it up here, he's an Uber driver and he's running errands for Bimla. Tonight though, he's grinning from ear to ear because after years of waiting, he's found out that his children and his wife have been granted permanent visas to the US.
Oh, I'm very happy. My Nepalese culture. I'm born in the Nepal. Nepalese culture, and I like my Nepali culture, my Nepali song. And like.
And what do you miss the most about Nepal?
I miss Nepal and my festival. My festival, too much enjoy, too much dancing, singing, and all my family member together eat. That's too much I miss the Nepal.
But it feels a little bit like you do that here.
Yeah, here a little bit, not too much.
This is quite a lot.
Yeah, this is a lot, but too much attack my family member.
Yeah, your family.
That's why, yeah.
Yeah, so the fact about
Yeah.
her is like she's been here like more than 16, 17
Yeah.
years. She left her kids when they were small and now they're like 16, 17 years older. So she needs all of those moments to spend with her kids, with her family. Everyone is there. She's supporting her, every single person in her family. But she's here struggling on her own, thinking to live a better life for them. Not for her, but like eventually she wants to be together with all of them, but like, yeah, she's hoping for the best for everyone.
Yeah.
Her daughter
Coming
recently
soon.
got to Canada.
You can feel that celebratory spirit everywhere Nepalis go. Whether you're on the mountaintops or you're in the basement of a restaurant feeling the shake of the 7 train. Bimla grabs my hand and leads me to the dance floor, and I gotta say, she's got some moves. And she does not stop singing, that woman. She told me that she's been singing since she was small. She was even on the Nepali radio. But she stopped singing when her father died. But I think she realized that she needed to sing.
I love dancing, I love singing. I've enjoyed life. Life is beautiful.
One time.
So what do you feel when
Yeah.
you dance?
I'm very good.
Yeah,
I'm
you're very
happy.
good.
Yeah, I'm happy. I forgot all the problem. And very good my life.
I had a birthday party to get to that night, and I just kept pushing it off. And I kept telling myself I would leave in 5 minutes, and I never did.
Yes, sir. Till next time.
I made besties with the waitress, who is just so freaking cute.
How old are you? How old do you think? Maybe 22? I'm 28. You weren't lying, right? Is that supposed to be old? She's 28. Oh my god.
In my eyes, the 30s are your new 20s, but to her, your 30s, you might as well be in a coffin.
I have some wrinkles coming in though.
We must take it as
It's all the oil from the food is gonna help me, you know.
The biggest learnings from this interview and this episode to me are that music and food have the power to bring people together. No matter nationality and language and socioeconomic background, it just bonds people. Being in these spaces with these people, you could really feel that their guard came down. They were so warm and welcoming to me. The singer actually spoke on the microphone and told me to the audience how special it was that I was there, that I was capturing this on camera, and that I got to experience Nepali culture. I almost teared up. It was so beautiful because, you know, when you've endured something as traumatic as war and migrating to an entirely new country where you don't speak the same language and you have to leave your family behind. You don't know when you're going to see them next. The incredible uncertainty. These moments with these people becomes home. Home is wherever they are, wherever the food is, wherever the music is. That's for sure.
And thank you for you coming here and you waiting, you dancing. Too much hour you waiting me. You coming 7 o'clock, but now 12 o'clock. I'm happy with you. My God, you enjoy Nepali song. That's why I like you. I love you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you.
So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, share it with a friend. And I hope that it inspires you to check out a Nepali restaurant near you or in a city near you and ask them questions. Find out their stories. Talk to them. Maybe you'll get lucky enough to get invited to one of their parties, and they go hard. So, good luck.